Hey girl, we're talking about early scientific racism. Today we're reading Biased by Jennifer Eberhardt. Chapter 6. In 1799, there was a British surgeon who gathered essays and engravings as evidence in his mind that humans come from multiple sources, and in other words, creating a natural hierarchy based on racial characteristics. So he gathered a bunch of skulls and he measured the depth of the jaw, angle of the occipital bones, did I say that right? Length of the arms, and size of the skull. His essays and engravings were called An Account of the Regular Gradation in Man. There's a racist association with Black people to animals, in particular apes. Which is obviously so fucking disgusting. And it's crazy because several scientists in the 1800s and early 1900s were the best of their time, and they were the ones making these racist comparisons. So based on the 50 skulls of Black person that White studied, he found, quote, "The African seems to approach nearer to the brute creation than of any other human in the human species." Another scientist at that time, Samuel George Morton, became an internationally admired scientist, and he was also really interested in studying skulls. He was a physician and he was a Harvard professor. He thought that intellectual ability was related to skull size, and he found, this is going to be hard to hear, but I'll read it from page 136. Caucasians were distinguished the highest intellectual endowments, he wrote. Native Americans were slow in acquiring knowledge, restless, revengeful, and fond of war. And Africans, joyous, flexible, and indolent, were representatives of the lowest grade of humanity. It's fucking disgusting. After Morton died in 1851, his ideas didn't die. They continued on with other scientists who also believed in polygenism. Josiah Nott and George Gideon published a book called Types of Mankind in 1854, basically using Christianity, the story of Adam and Eve, as evidence of their belief in polygenism. Okay, I'm going to show you a picture of sample skulls from Caucasian, Mongol, and a Black person in 1854, presented by Nott and Gideon. George Gideon, not Gideon. I mispronounced it. So you can see that the Caucasian skull is the biggest, and the jaw doesn't jut out as much. Look, this is disgusting. This is what they use for proof to be racist. Okay, for this next photo, I want to put in a trigger warning. It's that offensive. It's a picture of a Greek person, a line drawing, and then of their face and then their skull, a Black person, and then a chimpanzee. And this was done by the same two people, Nott and Gideon, in the same year, 1854. It's really bad, you guys. So I did a TikTok about something earlier in this book, a study that shows racist associations in our brain can alter our perception of someone's stature, size, and strength. And so keep that in mind with how these drawings were drawn. And I have a shorter TikTok video talking about the IQ test, how the first one was racist. In 1910, scientists began administering these IQ tests, believing that they could quantify the mental shortcomings of Black people and Native Americans. By 1915, federal law required that any immigrant who doesn't pass this IQ test, which was just a puzzle, be turned away. The man who created that puzzle was an Ellis Island physician named Howard A. Knox. The puzzle was a categorization for his quote, The sorting out of those immigrants who may, because of their mental makeup, become a burden to the state or may produce offspring that will require care in prisons, asylums, or other institutions. So the racist association of certain races with certain animals persists today. Just one of many examples is 2016, San Francisco. There was a group of text messages exchanged between police officers calling certain minority groups things like wild animals, cockroaches, savages, barbarians, and monkeys. Marginalized groups across the world are often associated with certain animal imagery. And look what I wrote here. Trump's anti-immigrant rhetoric is exactly the same when he refers to Mexican people as vermin and referring to them coming to the US as an invasion when it's not. History is so important and meaningful to understand. As you can see in this short video talking about one chapter in one book, how it applies to today.